Hello, I'm Sarah. Before we get into the chapter, let me give you a quick overview of Genesis 15. In this chapter, God speaks to Abram through a vision, telling him not to be afraid because God will protect him and reward him. Abram, however, is worried because he has no children to inherit the promises God has made. God reassures Abram that he will indeed have a son, and his descendants will be as countless as the stars in the sky. God also makes a formal agreement, called a covenant, with Abram, promising that his descendants will inherit the land. God even tells Abram what will happen to his family in the future, including a time when they will be mistreated in a foreign country, but will eventually return home with many blessings. This is an updated version of the King James Bible, using modern English. Now let's dive into this powerful chapter, where God reassures Abram and lays out his promises for the future. After these things, the word of the Lord came to Abram in a vision, saying, "Do not fear, Abram. I am your shield and your exceedingly great reward." Abram replied, "Lord God, what will you give me, seeing that I remain childless, and the steward of my house is this Eliezer of Damascus?" Abram continued, "Look, you have given me no offspring. Indeed, one born in my household will be my heir." Then the word of the Lord came to him, saying, "This one shall not be your heir. Instead, your own son who comes from your body will be your heir." The Lord brought Abram outside and said, "Look toward the heavens and count the stars, if you are able to number them." And he said to him, "So shall your descendants be." Abram believed the Lord, and he credited it to him as righteousness. Then the Lord said to him, "I am the Lord who brought you out of Ur of the Chaldeans to give you this land to inherit it." But Abram asked, "Lord God, how shall I know that I will inherit it?" The Lord answered, "Bring me a 3-year-old heifer, a 3-year-old goat, a 3-year-old ram, a turtle dove, and a young pigeon." So Abram brought all these animals, cut them in two, and arranged the halves opposite each other. But he did not cut the birds. Then birds of prey came down on the carcasses, but Abram drove them away. As the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and a dreadful darkness descended upon him. Then the Lord said to Abram, "Know for certain that your descendants will be strangers in a land that is not theirs, and they will serve the people there and be oppressed for 400 years. But I will judge the nation they serve, and afterward they will come out with great possessions. As for you, you will go to your ancestors in peace and be buried at a good old age. In the 4th generation, your descendants will return here, for the sin of the Amorites has not yet reached its full measure." When the sun had set and it was dark, a smoking firepot and a blazing torch appeared and passed between the pieces. On that day, the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, "To your descendants I give this land, from the river of Egypt to the great river, the Euphrates, the land of the Kenites, the Kenizzites, the Cadmonites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Rephaim, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Girgashites, and the Jebusites."